Hey YouTube, it's your boy Mizuki back with another video, and in today's video I'm running a part 2 on the tips and tricks on how to run an S-rank invasion flawlessly and get basically the best chance you can of receiving a legendary and preferably a godly drop. Now these tricks are the ones I use whenever my boys are offline and I need to grind, since obviously time gates aren't always around and neither are my buddies, so therefore, of course, sometimes you have to resort to solo farming. I don't recommend it by any means. Like, if y'all got a choice, run an S-rank invasion with your buddies because obviously it's a lot easier and faster that way. But soloing has its own pros, which I'll be sliding into in today's video. Y'all know me though, before making this video, I've gone over this info with the mods, the active members of the game, as well as the content creators such as myself, to solidify my point of view. I've also made time segments for this video, the first part being the background and basics of the S-rank invasions, then the tips themselves, and lastly, I'll cap off with a nice outro as always. So now without further ado, let's hop right into the video. Now in terms of the basics, and for those of y'all that didn't know, S-rank invasions are normally based off of three things, or at least for receiving better drops, and basically, the higher your kills are, the more NPCs you kill altogether, and the less amount of time you take will result in you getting a better drop in these invasions. So there's a pro in soloing. The pro being that as a solo you rack up a lot more kills, meaning that a higher overall score, but you can take a lot longer, around 15 to 20 minutes, especially if you do everything I tell you in this video. But the chances of you receiving a godly and or legendary drop are probably 5 times higher since your buddies aren't rushing you, and 2, for the reasons listed in this video. Now anyways, S-rank invasions overall grant you stat boosts, as well as godly, legendary, and other cool drops, occasionally time remnants, and also Bankai points for those of y'all grinding for it. But those are the general outlines. Now moving on to the tips. Now anyways, as for the tips, I got 5 in total, for guaranteeing yourself a shot at receiving a godly and or legendary drop. The first one being, take your time and kill every NPC on the map or in the map. Something that I didn't necessarily mention in my 3 tips of success is you gotta get as high of a score as possible in the completion category. The way you do that is by killing every NPC on the map or in the map. Keep in mind that some may be hiding in little cracks or behind houses make sure to sweep the entire area to ensure that every NPC has been dealt with and capped. This will in turn grant you a higher score, and the completion, believe it or not, goes a long way of solidifying a godly drop. Now the next tip I got for y'all, and this again goes for everybody, is if you like soloing more than you do group invading, then I recommend you start investing in a long range and large radius abilities, such as, for example, Chaos for Ronkars, and or, for example, Oasis for Quincy's. Long range and large radius moves are very keen in one, killing a lot of NPCs at once, as well as completing the invasions faster. Back when I used to grind invasions like crazy, especially solo since I'd be on when the boys were asleep, what I'd do is I'd run around tagging every NPC in the area, right? So they'd like start chasing me. What I would do is I would bring them over to me and into one area. Then I'd turn around, or I'll turn my, well, I'll turn around obviously. Then I'd turn my Oasis on, back when it was actually really broken, and still is, but it was really, like when it was glitched before the rework, and the revamp. And I'd have the ability to shred their HP off, and I'd cap them, and turn out to kill like 7 NPCs in one go, which is so nice, because except for wasting 15 minutes, I spent around 10, completing the entire invasion. Basically, I was like a squad. I was pretty good back then. But anyways, with that in mind, the third tip I got for y'all is avoid using the cloak that was given to you before going to the invasion, since everybody has a choice of putting on a cloak by surrendering a guard to one of the NPCs before the invasion begins. These NPCs can obviously, well, it's one NPC. He could be found in either Hoiko Mundo and or the Soul Society. The good thing about this is now the NPCs basically detect you, and it will be a lot easier to bring them together and blast them at once, since except for going after each one and hitting them, they spot you and start chasing you, which makes your life so much easier. It's just a very big tip. That's what I used to do, but obviously if you grind invasions with others, it normally doesn't matter since the team will kill all the NPCs anyways. So you could put it on, you could keep it off, it doesn't matter. Now the fourth and final tip I got for y'all is kill the reinforcements. Yes, guys, do it. Because reinforcements, if y'all didn't know, actually count as completion score. So if y'all don't kill the reinforcements, except for having like a 95% or 100% on the completion, y'all will have around 80 to 85%, which is already a big difference. And with all that in mind, when you're fighting reinforcements, don't be shy and go back to the map to check the cracks in between homes and trees, because believe it or not, NPCs can get stuck behind objects and you'll end up reaching a lower score than you would if you were to check. And as a bonus tip, forget about the time, okay? But of course, I don't mean like take 30 minutes. I'm just saying don't worry about it. Regardless, the time is the weakest factor out of the three by far. It's almost like a bonus. Like if you were to get 100% on a test, it would be like getting 110. It's basically extra credit. And what matters is how many you personally kill and the completion score. So don't get caught up with little things like that. Trust. But aside from that, that's all I got for today's video. Of course, all y'all know, Update 4 should be releasing sometime this week, and I personally can't wait. Just very excited for this. Peroxide has been cooking day and night to release this new update, and with the things featured in it, it'll be one hell of a time. So yeah, can't wait for that. But on that note, like, sub, all the proper things, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.